Hello again. Right, hopefully you got on all right with the 0 and negative indices. So we're going to change it a little bit now, and we're going to do fractional indices where the power is a fraction. So I've put two important notes here, so I expect you to put those in your book. The denominator, that's the bottom number, tells us the root, and the numerator tells us the power. So this time we're going to have a look at these. So 2 is the denominator, so that means the square root. Okay, so that becomes the square root of 49, and then the numerator is the power, so to the power 1. So the square root of 49 is 7. 7 to the power 1 is 7. So the answer to this one would be simply 7. Now you don't have to put this one. If it is 1, you can just leave it as the same. I'm just making a point because when we do something a little bit different, you'll see why I've done that. Okay, so 49 to the power of half is 7. Okay, so this one here, hopefully you'll probably be able to recognise this one already. So the square root of 121 to the power 1 is going to be 11. Okay, 11 to the power 1 is 11. Okay, right, this time 3 is the denominator, so that means the cube root. Remember, we write cube root like that. We have a small 3. It's not a big 3 like you had last week with your surds. Okay, it's a small 3. So the cube root of 27 to the power 1. So the cube root of 27 is 3. 3 to the power 1 is 3. We don't put a little 2 for square root. It's just given that if it's just that one, it's the square root. Technically, there should be a little 2 there, okay? You can have more than the square root and the cube root. You could have the 4th root, the 5th root, the 6th root. They tend to be, in maths GCSE, they tend to be powers of 2 or perhaps a power of 3, okay? Right, so let's look at the next one. Now, you can see here, the numerator is more than 2. So let's have a look at this. The bottom number, the denominator tells us the root, so that means it's the cube root of 125 to the power 2. Okay, so you can see now why I did that up there. So the cube root of 125 is 5, and 5 squared is 25. So the answer of this one would be 25. Okay. Let's have a go at the next one. So this time the 2 is the bottom, the denominator, so that means the square root of 16, and we're going to put that to the power 3. So the square root of 16 is 4, 4 cubed is 64. Okay, obviously you need to know all your square numbers and cube numbers. You have to know your square numbers up to 15 squared, and you have to know your cube numbers up to 5 cubed. Okay, right. Now the next one. Now remember I said earlier that sometimes it's not always the square root or the cube root. This time we're going to look at the 5th root. The 5th root of 32 to the power 2. Now, hopefully you were listening. I said normally it would be a power of 2 or a power of 3. Now 32, hopefully you recognise is a power of 2. Okay, it's always a good idea to think of anything technological because it comes in gigs. So you've got 2 to the power 1 is 2, 2 to the power 2 is 4, 2 to the power 3 is 8, 2 to the power 4 is 16, 2 to the power 5 is 32. So we can see then that the 5th root of 32 is 2. So that's 2 squared, which is 4. Okay, so you do need to know your powers of 2. Think about, I was about to say iPods then, iPhones, and gig memory space and things like that. They're always in powers of 2. So then you've got 1, 2, 8, 2, 5, 6. You'll hopefully recognise these numbers. Okay, right. So again, you've got a quiz on fractional indices. So most of your answers will be a whole number this time. So have a go at those, make your notes, and I shall speak to you next lesson. Cheerio!